Welcome to For Your Amusement, a theme park podcast that aims to exhaustively evaluate the world's most popular theme park attractions to determine if they are world class. I'm Ryan Bergara.
I'm Byron Marin.
And for today's episode, we're ranking the top 10 performances by an actor in a ride. Very specialized top 10 today. Now, this is excluding shows because, like, for instance, we couldn't do Greg Dolph in Waterworld because that's a different performance every show. We're talking about a performance that is preserved in time. It is an actor in front of camera, and it is also an actor speaking in front of camera, so no voice-only roles here as well. Those are the parameters that we are going by, and you'd think this is an easy list. I had a hard time with this one.
It's tough.
Because Byron had asked me, like, can we do ensembles? Like, for instance, all of the people in this ride, and no, you have to break up. That's not how it works in a movie.
No, it would have made it easier for me to pick personally, but yeah. Had to make some cutthroat decisions on this one.
Yeah, we were originally going to do 5 for this, but then we decided we need to do 10.
And then I asked you if defunct attractions were on the table, and
they are.
Lo and behold, they were. So that made it extra difficult.
Looking at your list, I don't think you had any defunct attractions.
Did I not put any on there?
No.
Oh, look at that.
Didn't even change your list. Oh, and by the way, this could be a performance in a pre-show or on the ride, as long as it's like anything that comes after basically the marquee. Okay, so our top 10 list is a consensus between the two of us, formed by a point system. Byron and I each made our own individual top 10s, and a ranking of first is worth 10 points, a ranking of second is worth 9 points, and so on and so on and so on, and then I tallied the scores to create this aggregate ranking. As such, only I know the contents of this list, and the rankings will be revealed to not only you guys, but Byron as well. This also means that the list can be vulnerable to what we refer to as a muscle job, in which somebody purposefully lists something higher than it should be so that they could sneak it onto the aggregate list. And we are also going to be sharing some honorable mentions as well as our least favorite performance as well. And as always, please like and subscribe if you're watching it over at youtube.com/@FYApod, or if you're listening, subscribe and rate the podcast 5 stars. Helps a lot. And if you'd like, consider supporting us over on Fourth Wall, which is basically another version of Patreon. FYApod.com is where it is. You'll get up to 3 monthly bonus shows in addition to the free main show that you are watching right now. And our merch is there as well, and it'll help us keep all this madness going. But without further ado, top 10 actor performances in a ride. A mouthful. How was this for you, Byron?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Fairly unsure of myself. I'm wondering if a few are going to pop up that I feel like I covered the high majority of them, though.
I think you missed one crucial performance.
I think I leaned heavily on pre-shows as opposed to thinking, oh yeah, performances go on like during a ride as well.
That's right.
So I heavily emphasize performances that take place before the actual ride starts. Not to say there's that many rides where the performance carries over from the pre-show into it, but it might play a little role here.
Yeah, this is going to be really fun because like I feel like similar to us, you're probably clicking on this video thinking or listening to this podcast episode thinking, how could this possibly be something that I would have opinions about? And then you start to make your own list and you start to realize there's a lot of good stuff out there. And I do think it is an art to act in a theme park attraction. It's something that I aspire to one day do. If I could do that, I'll die a happy man. And you can rest assured, I think I've said this on this pod before, if it ever is given to me, if I've ever given that opportunity, I'm going to go hard. Yeah, I'm going to go hard in the paint. I'm going to give it everything I got.
And I will say, when evaluating some of these performances, I realized that some of these performances might not play well in like a TV show or a movie.
No.
But they work for a ride.
They do. There's a charm to them that may not play. It may play too big or too cheesy in a movie or a TV production. Let's go ahead and get into the list. Oh, also another thing. We did have some ties in this list. And unlike in past episodes when I do like a 7A and 7B, I just asked Byron, pick one between these two. Yeah. And then whichever one we picked between the two together, that was the one that went ahead of the other one.
I tried to make the most objective choices in those because often my personal choices were that's how these muscle jobs happen after all.
That's true.
So I think I was even more so objective when it came to these ties.
Fair enough. Well, without further ado, let's get into number 10. And for number 10, we have Allison Blanchard as Dr. Ogden in Flight of Passage.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Jackie Ogden from the Pandora Conservation Initiative.
Now, this was on Byron's list, and she was ranked number 7 on Byron's list and was not on my list at all. Now, what about this performance attracted you? This is basically like a proxy for Sigourney Weaver in a lot of ways.
I was going to say, like, it could potentially be higher on some people's list. I had to dock some points considering it's a discount Sigourney Weaver of sorts.
No disrespect.
But in terms of the performance and how it pertains to the ride itself, I get amped when I see it. You know, I think she truly embodies this scientist / conservationist. Siva Ko, let's be real. I always get so amped when she introduces Siva Ko, and I am ready to rise to the challenge every time she introduces this rite of passage we're about to take, or this flight of passage, if you will.
Fair enough.
As the Na'vi say during this important rite of passage, Siva Ko, rise to the challenge.
Here's my thing, and this is not fair. I'll admit this. I have to say that it's almost like she is too good at portraying what a real scientist would sound like, because I don't find it engaging as much as some of these other performances. Like it's almost like so lost in the world. She's too locked in. And I realize that's a dumb reason that why didn't the performance didn't pop for me because of that reason. There is somebody else in the ride though that it does pop for me. I have him on my list, but I no disrespect to Alison Blanchard, great work, almost too good of work. Maybe something I could take a lesson from, because if I'm too locked in, maybe it's like too in the world. But no, this is a fun performance. And all around, just a great presentation for this ride. And it does get you amped. I totally forget that she's the one who introduces you to Siva Ko.
It does a lot of heavy lifting here, so maybe that's more of a testament to the writing. But hey, I don't know. I think she does a good job.
Which, if you didn't know, Siva Ko is the thing. It's like a Yahoo! In Na'vi language.
It translates to rise to the challenge.
Oh, okay. What? Basically Yahoo. That's basically what Yahoo is, right? Not the search engine. No one uses that anymore, or mail. Anyways, that's number 10. Moving on to number 9. Now, this is the number 9 actor performance in a ride. This is something that was on my list. It was not on Byron's list. It is a defunct attraction. I could not believe he did not have this on his list. But you know what? Maybe it's okay. Maybe I've ranked it too high. Do you have any guesses, Byron?
Now I feel embarrassed already that I might have left someone off. That's like a big heavy hitter.
I'll give you a hint. It's one of the greatest theme park shows of all time.
Okay, shows.
And remember, it's a performance captured on a film. It's not like a live action.
I know.
So that means it's a movie, 3D movie.
Yes. Damn it. Wait, why am I missing this? There's nothing in Muppet Vision. There's no live actor in Muppet Vision. So it can't be Muppet Vision.
I wish I could put Kermit the Frog though.
I know. Yeah, does puppeteering count?
It should. If that was able to be counted, then I would have probably put him in there, but I did not.
Oh, dang, what's another big 3D show?
Do you want me to reveal it to you?
Filler Magic isn't there?
No, it's not Filler Magic.
Obviously there's no live actors in Filler Magic.
Thank God.
3D. What is this? Oh, is it Arnold?
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold T2
in Terminator 2 3D.
Cyberdyne.
Yeah, now this is a classic. I mean, this is just a legitimately good little short film that they make, and he is fully in Arnold's Terminator form.
Friend of yours?
He was my college roommate. With the satchel charges.
The satchel charges?
Excellent.
It felt like it was just an extension of the Terminator franchise. I could make the argument that this film is better than any of the other films that followed Terminator 2, which is not a crazy thing to say, because you have Salvation, you have Terminator 3, Rise of, I think it's the Machines or something, and you have Terminator Genesis. It's, there's a lot going on, but this truly feels like the only canonical sequel in my head after Terminator 2. And also, I do want to shout out Linda Hamilton and Edward Furlong, as well as the Super Lady. Now, that's not an on-camera performance, the Super Lady. That's always an actor in person, but always a delightful Super!
Let's take a look at this little sizzle reel, which I personally supervise.
I love that lady. You know what? I could have listed Shaquille O'Neal here too, because he's technically in the
Oh my
Cyberdyne
gosh.
Systems pre-show when it's him shooting free throws with the bionic eye. But I just love Arnold's performance in this. I love that we get to see what the future war actually looks like for once. And he's locked in. He's the Terminator, or I think he's the T-100 as they call it. And is he the T-100? Terminator nerds out there, maybe you could dial me in there. I'm pretty sure he's the T-100 or the T-50 or something like that. T something. But why Byron? Why the disrespect of history?
I'll be honest with you. I never really liked this attraction.
That's crazy, dude.
I don't think I've ever said that on this show. Not to say, you know what, if I experienced it within the past few years, I think I might have had a bigger appreciation for it. I think my love for shows kind of grew over the years, but this has long been gone from Hollywood. The last time I experienced this was in 2019 in Japan.
Yes. Is it subtitled there, or is it in Japanese kind of dubbing?
I recall it basically just I being in Japanese.
Oh,
so
damn, dude.
今の知り合い
大学のルームメイトがサッチャルチャージを拾え。
サッチャルチャージ
Here's the thing. I think there's a level of nuance to the performance here because Arnold, Edward Furlong, and Linda Hamilton, their performance is put on a screen on the side of it's either on the main screen or one of the side screens, and basically there are live action people, like actual human actors on stage that are mimicking the movements of the people that we see on screen, as if like what we were seeing is like, you know, when you go to a concert, you see like Taylor Swift or something, and then you're up high, but you could see her face on the screen as she's performing. That's basically what they're trying to pretend this is in Terminator 2 3D. So what I'm saying is there's a level of nuance in the performance from the actor because they have to be kind of still or positioned in a way every time they deliver their lines to match what the stage production is going to be trying to replicate. So I think you get some bonus points for that.
executing under difficult parameters.
Exactly. Acting in a phone booth. So like I said, it's one thing to act in a theme park attraction like Alison Blanchard or as Dr. Ogden, but it's another thing to reprise a role that's iconic, that has a lot of weight to it, and that the last thing to come out about that with that property was a masterpiece. Terminator 2 is a masterpiece. So the stakes are higher here, and I think Arnold delivered. I had this at number 6 on my list. So that gave it a score of 5, which put it at the 9 spot in the aggregate list. Moving on to number 8, Ileana Douglas, as, I guess, the role of tour manager
Hell yeah.
in Rock and Roller Coaster.
Okay, I'll make it happen. Now get out of here. I hate all of you.
See ya. Have a nice ride.
Hi, Sal, it's me. Listen, I'm gonna need a bigger car. Make it a stretch. In fact, make it a super stretch.
Now, Byron had her at number 5 on his list.
Pretty good.
I did not have her on my list at all.
It's pretty generous.
That's a pretty generous, muscly ranking there. I suspect you knew I wasn't going to put this on my list. I thought about it, but I did not. Byron, why?
I don't know why. Maybe, you know what? I went on this ride at the right time.
Yeah.
It's just a core memory. The first time I saw this pre-show, her performance as the band manager and doing the whole, make that a super stretch. Like that is just engraved in my memories. Maybe it has a lot to do with how excited I was to go on my first looping coaster. And once again, this is the best example, in my opinion, of maybe this is acting that you'd like, if you saw it on the show Friends and stuff, you'd be like, oh, that's like kind of like,
In the world?
That's an annoying performance, but like whatever. But for whatever reason, it gets me so pumped for this ride, and it really translates well to a pre-roller coaster
I don't
experience.
think she has any iconic line deliveries or lines for me to warrant this ranking, though. Like, make it a
hate
stretch.
all of you.
Make it the stretch. Come on, man. It's such a there's another performance in this exact room that is far superior in terms of line delivery.
I think I put it on the list too.
I did too, but it didn't make it because it wasn't high enough on both of our lists. You ranked this. By the way, we're talking about Steven Tyler playing
We could have
Steven Tyler.
honorable mention. I love that idea.
Wait a minute. I love that idea.
How about some backstage passes?
Yeah.
Come on. Make it happen. Give me some.
Okay.
How about some backstage passes?
Here's the deal. I thought about putting him in front of Mrs. Douglas, but I gotta say, I deducted points because Steven Tyler's performance resulted in them having to CGI his hand.
Why?
You ever hear about this?
No, I didn't hear about this. Wait, what happened?
Steven Tyler snuck in a hand gesture during his performance for Rock and Roller Coaster that basically insinuated two in the pink, one in the sink. Sort of hand.
Two in the pink, one in the
I
stink?
think it was a sexual innuendo hand gesture that Disney had to CGI his hand to change his hand.
Did he do it on
gesture.
purpose?
Yes.
I don't even know what hand gesture you're referring to.
Everyone thinks that he snuck it in intentionally, knowing that the director and stuff wouldn't understand what it meant.
Oh my God.
But like rock star lovers and stuff like that would totally get it. So Disney didn't find out about it, I believe, until after the ride opened. And then people we can look into that's what I've heard.
I feel like that
is,
should jolt him up the list. For me.
You know what?
I love that idea.
It's when he puts that hand up like on his forehead.
Yeah, because he does that weird I love that he's almost the hand motion he does when he says that line is kind of like a southern damsel in distress when she has a hand like dainty hand on his. I love that idea. How about some backstage fast? It's so good. But yes, you've chosen tour manager.
That's right.
Okay,
I gotta give some love there. I thought it really worked. It's a great pre-show, and she has the most lines in that pre-show.
Barely. How many lines does she have total? She
leads that pre-show.
What does she have like?
She's the one introducing you into the soundstage room.
True,
Aerosmith's kind of just there hanging out and vibing, and then occasionally they have Steven coming in with but
he's got the aura, dude. He's got the aura.
Yeah, I get that.
All right, well, I don't have her on this. No disrespect. It's a good performance. Moving on to number 7. Now, this was one of the ones that was a tiebreaker. It was tied with Ileana Douglas, and Byron and I both decided that this gentleman should go ahead of it. And that is number 7, best performance in a ride by an actor goes to Brendan Fraser, playing Brendan Fraser in The Mummy.
Which is pretty great.
Hey, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I would have enjoyed this interview a lot more if I had gotten my cup of coffee! Thank you.
He's playing Brendan Fraser, the actor in The Mummy.
A douche version.
But a douche version of Brendan Fraser. And I just love when people do this. It's always so funny for someone to poke fun at themselves. And nowadays, knowing Brendan Fraser, he was most recently on the awards circuit. We all know him to be a sweetheart. So it totally makes sense that he would have fun at his own expense. But I mean, some iconic lines here,
of course, the "Where's my coffee"
would have been better if I had my coffee.
Yeah.
Really good delivery there. I'm not going to even attempt to do it because we'll just play the clip.
We'll blow our ears out.
It's so good. Look, this is an example of throwing heat. He hit a home run with one ball thrown to him, and that was pretty much all he had to do. He's barely in this ride. And it's funny that he's just tacked on at the end of the ride.
Well, it's just no. Well, he's not just tacked on the end though. There's a long pre-show.
There is a pre-show.
It's like the fake documentary.
That's true.
It's hard to see nowadays because you're usually whizzing by it. I kind of wish they put you in a legit pre-show room.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess they have it in the queue. So if you're sitting around there, you'll see it. But yeah, he gives this. It's got this great backstory, and he really sells the kind of diva actor who just wants his coffee. All he cares about is his crafty.
Yeah, he's that crafty. I forgot about that.
He's not able to get the crafty because he doesn't have the manjai because the crafty lady is super very superstitious about the manjai and stuff like that. She's a firm believer, so he steals it from the PA.
Yes.
Inadvertently killing the PA on the ride.
But he then gets killed at the end of this ride.
Yeah.
Canonically.
No, he gets his comeuppance.
It's really good. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you watch it, or just get to the parks and get on this ride and watch him because it's fantastic work. Especially because he's in the outfit of such a beloved character.
Yeah. And he's literally just pushing this PA around, stealing the manjai, shoving him out of the frame. He sells it really well. He really comes off as a douche.
I mean, I think it's a testament to probably how nice he is because he plays the douche. You could tell he's having a blast. But anyways, number 6, Eric Idle as Dr. Nigel Channing in Figment, Journey into Imagination.
Hello.
On your tour, you'll see how the 5 human senses can help capture your imagination.
Oh, can I go too?
Absolutely not.
Why did you not have this on your list? It's such a funny dynamic.
You know what? This is probably a misfire. Once again, I think I was half of me was in like pre-show mode, and it's like I think he does get some pre-show footage technically in the queue.
Very minimal.
It's
minimal. You hear his voice.
Yeah, you definitely hear his voice,
and you see his shadow. No, you see Robin Williams' shadow. You don't see.
Yeah, he is, but he is very prominent throughout the ride. I guess it's just, I shouldn't let the ride pull down his performance.
It's really good.
The character annoys the shit out of me,
and it annoys the shit out of him. And then the entire ride is dedicated to annoying the shit out of Dr. Nigel Channing.
But I can't say the performance is that horrible.
It's pretty fun.
I could have substituted this for his performance in Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
That's true.
Would be one if you're going to count shows.
But is his face transposed on the moon?
No, it is not transposed on the moon.
That's fine. I mean, that's right. If it's not transposed on the moon, then it doesn't deserve a spot on the list.
Okay. Well, Eric Idle, Dr. Nigel Channing.
It's really good.
Getting, abused by Figment.
This is one of our discoveries, the figment of imagination.
Yeah, I know all about the senses. There's sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. Taste my chicken.
Getting the tickle, the coochie coo, and he does his little.
Really good.
Honestly, his tickled expressions while he's getting tickled by something that's not even there when they filmed it, I guess, is worthy of honestly, because as he himself said, the purple little fucker wasn't there.
The purple little fucker was not there. That's famous from Eric Idle himself.
Yeah, if we're judging performances, you know what? I think it was very good of you to get him on the list here.
No, he's acting opposite either a tennis ball or nothing there at all, and I totally buy that he wants to strangle this little purple dragon. Maybe because I also want to strangle this purple little dragon, affectionately sometimes, but I think it deserves a spot on the list just for creating the world and the dynamic with something that isn't there. Moving on to number 5, we have a person who's not even on my list, but Byron had it very high on his. Where did Byron have this guy? Byron had this guy at number 4 on his list. Gary Sinise as Capcom in Mission Space.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, you in Mission Space, man.
Fuck
what in the
yeah,
world
dude.
is going on? No, if not, fuck yeah.
Hey, look, we're judging pre-show or not.
He's not even in the ride anymore.
He's not, but you said defunct. You said I had to, and then once you open that can of worms, I could not resist.
Here's why
Gary Sinise
is
like a real astronaut in this. He's got the perfect nasally voice.
Yeah.
Welcome to the International Space Training Center. You're here today to train for the greatest adventure in the history of mankind, the exploration of deep space. I know you're probably feeling a little bit nervous right now, but don't worry. Every astronaut has felt that way one time or another, even the heroes who went to the moon. But there is one thing that they have that you don't have. Training.
No joke, when I first saw this as a kid, I didn't know who the hell Gary Sinise was. I hadn't seen Forrest Gump yet.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, they get this is like an actual astronaut. He sounds like what you would think an astronaut sounds like.
He does kind of look like him too.
And I think he nails it. It's really authentic.
But now after seeing Forrest Gump, is it still not funny to you?
It's pretty funny, but it's also super impressive.
Yeah. But you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan sending you to space. It's kick ass.
Here's my problem with it. I know I said we could do defunct attractions, but this attraction is not defunct. They've taken him out of the ride.
That's not on him though.
I guess that's true. It's just weird. I didn't miss him. Then again, I don't like this ride, so I'm biased here. I don't like this ride.
And the current pre-show is pretty good.
Yeah.
Whoever does it now actually does.
Gina Torres.
Yeah, she does a fine job as well. I couldn't put 2 Mission Space people in the.
You just put Gary Sinise / Gina Torres.
Just because I really thought he was a fucking astronaut.
Dude, that's so funny. Actually, that's pretty good. I thought he was an astronaut is a pretty
and
good
then
reason.
I think one of my parents went oh, that's the guy from NYPD or NCIS or something like that, right? And I was like, oh, I didn't okay, he's a legitimate actor.
Yeah, it's good.
No.
Yeah, Lieutenant Dan. All right, I'm fine with it, I guess.
Fuck yeah.
That's number 5. Now we're getting into the big dogs here. Number 4 was a person that was high on both Byron and I's list, And it's going to be surprising to some of you. In fact, I think we're going to catch a lot of flack for this.
I fucking know who
to be quite honest. I think people are going to be like, are you serious? But look, we're talking number 4, Chris Pratt as Owen Grady.
Oh, I was thinking about someone else.
No. Chris Pratt as Owen Grady in Velocicoaster, not Jurassic World The Ride.
Oh, no. He's way better in Velocicoaster.
Now, I have him at number 4.
I don't have him on the list for Jurassic World. No way.
Neither do I.
It's specifically
Velocicoaster. And you have him at number 6 for Velocicoaster.
Yeah, because he pretty much phones it in on a lot of the theme park performances.
For Jurassic World in particular.
Jurassic World. Guardians is like okay, I guess. That's fine.
And Mission Breakout's also kind of like whatever.
Yeah, but specifically Velocicoaster, I think is his best performance by far. Not like in general, but in a theme park ride, that's the only one I would put on the list, and I think it definitely deserves a good spot on the list.
Here's the thing. This is going to be a crazy thing I'm about to say, but I do believe it. We have a top 3 above this, obviously. I think those are better and more iconic theme park performances. But if you want to talk just a person acting, I think this actually might be the best acting performance in a theme park attraction. It's almost like a oneer. It's almost like one shot of him just talking to Bryce Dallas Howard via looking at a security camera. I buy it all. I think he learned his lines for this. I think he prepared for it. I really felt like he cared about the safety of the Raptors first and foremost, but also the guests. I bought the whole like you corporation you don't know what the fuck you're doing kind of thing.
A lot of it feels unscripted.
It feels almost unscripted. Like
his eyeballs are kind of like bouncing around to try and find the camera at times.
Yeah.
Because I guess it is this weird tech like moving, like I don't know how much of that was direction or a choice, but it really works.
And there's some good lines here. They're faster than you know, Claire.
Well, every second you're out here, you're going to be at risk. I mean, you'll be going fast, but it doesn't matter because there's really no overestimating the raptor. They're quicker than you realize, Claire. They're quicker than she realizes.
Also, I love the part when, and also there's the Universal creative members who worked on this ride are the people that are tasing the raptors behind him.
Oh, that's right.
But when that moment happens and he goes, "This is insane."
Okay, Claire, this is insane.
Everything is completely under control.
What? No, it's not.
Like I actually really felt that moment. I was like, oh wow, he really is going for it here.
It really builds the anticipation for the ride. I love the sarcastic
exit
kind of
through the gift shop.
Yes, the whole like because it's like he has to do the obligatory safety spiel during this pre-show.
Yeah.
Hands, arms, feet, keep them in the vehicle with any luck you'll still have fingers and toes before you exit through the gift shop.
Thank you so much, Mr. Grady.
And then his fake jolly, I guess the hunt is on.
All part of the experience, isn't that right?
Oh, all right. Oh, good. Well, then, with the gates open, I guess the hunt is on.
Always gets me. I think it's a terrific performance.
I think it's really good. And yeah, like you said, it mixes in the safety spiel while being completely in character and mocking the safety spiel. I don't know. I mean, I think that safety spiel mocking, if delivered by him half-assed or by another actor who didn't care, it could come off pretty bad.
No, you had like there's a considerable amount of effort that had to have gone into that.
No, and like I said, I could be wrong, but my recollection of this is mostly it's a wide shot that zooms in and out.
Yeah, it's chaotic.
Shout out Bryce Dallas Howard too, also good in this as well.
That's why it's hard to pick like I wanted ensembles. But
this isn't the SAG Ensemble Award. I think we've talked about it enough. Look, give us flack if you'd like. But honestly, I'd like to see another performance that's more locked in than this. Maybe Arnold, but I don't know, man. He's doing some hard stuff in this safety spiel that's tough to do. I respect it. Moving on to the top 3. Now this, I'm just going to ruin it for you, Byron, right now. I'm not going to ruin it for the audience. This is the first time we've ever done one of these list episodes, both on this show and in our previous show, Saddest Podcast on Earth, where you and I have had an identical top 3.
Oh, hell yeah.
Without consulting each other.
We can both go down together.
I think that's crazy that we have literally our top 3 is exactly the same. So when I was adding up the scores, I was like, oh, easy. So let's start with number 3. Number 3, David Danipour as Dr. Stevens in Flight of Passage.
Hi, and welcome to the Avatar program. Soon, you're going to have a chance to undertake an amazing Navi rite of passage, riding on the back of a banshee by being genetically matched and linked to an avatar.
Now, I've actually seen a meme online, and I promise that this was not what informed my decision making.
This is the one that I thought was in the Chris Pratt spot.
I see.
When you're saying a memeable.
Well, here's the thing. There was like, I think it was like someone had made like a Mount Rushmore, I believe, of like theme park actors, and it's the 3 people that we're about to list, and this is one of them. This is the guy that is basically explaining to you the Banshee tech that you're about to go through for Flight of Passage. You know, he actually did an AMA on Reddit.
AMA, what?
He didn't ask me anything on Reddit. Hold on, let me actually pull it up.
Yeah. Do they call it the link chamber? Is that where he's presenting to you?
It's
where
like
you
that.
Yeah, it's where you link and you find your avatar.
He says, "Hi, I'm David Danapor from the pre-show of Avatar Flight of Passage ride and fly. I don't know what that means. AMA.
Oh, and fly?
Yes.
That's a joke of the end of the his spiel where he's like, and fly.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You'll be able to link to that avatar and fly.
And this is actually an AMA that he had done during the pandemic, because he said, since I've been staying at home for several weeks, like most of you have as well, I've made some videos as a creative outlet. So without further ado, oh wait, no, this is just him plugging some of his stuff. Never mind. Somebody said your line and fly has become quite a meme in the Disney fan community. Was it scripted exactly as that? Were you given direction on how to read that line? And he said no. That line was not scripted that way. I just sort of discovered it on the day. Imagineering folks are very creative people, so they would give me some creative freedoms as well. I do remember when we discovered that line, they did like it. I was just given one script, but on the day, the script was constantly modified to fill certain time constraints. So constantly, chunks were switched from here to there throughout the day. I believe it's because they needed different takes for different wait times. Ooh. So if wait time is short, you get less pre-show. There was even one take, I don't know if it made it. You guys would have to tell me since I've never been to the ride. Whoa, he's never been on the ride? But one take, I leave the screen for a minute or two to check on some malfunction and then return.
Well, that was 5 years ago, so hopefully he's finally made it. I hope.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, David, if you're watching this, please let us know if you've been on the ride. And if you'd like, please come on the show. I'm happy to see a bunch of folks in this AMA. The AMA is on Reddit if you guys want to go check it out, but there's a lot of people giving him his flowers. Love to see it.
I saw him in a commercial once and blew my mind. I had to pause. I'm like, wait a minute. That's the guy.
That's Dr. Stevens, baby.
Dr. Stevens. He's gonna hold still for a minute. A little longer.
It's such a nervous performance. I do love it.
He plays this uncomfortable in front of the camera scientist like to perfection.
I think it's also this is kind of what you were alluding to earlier in the episode. It's perfectly nailing the target of theme park kitsch. Like it's like kind of like tongue in cheek. This is your classic theme park cue performance, talking to camera, giving instructions. You've seen it a million times, and there's only a couple that stand out in your mind as memorable, and this is one of the 3 that stands out as memorable to me. And I think for that, even if you don't like the performance, you do have to admit you remember this person.
Yeah. You go on IMDb, just a little fun experiment. If you want to pull out your phone really quick and just go to IMDb and type in Flight of Passage.
Okay.
And just see it. And this is what they associate with Flight of Passage. When you type in Flight of Passage on IMDb, just look at the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, Avatar Flight of Passage short, and then the thumbnail.
It's just his mug.
It's just it's David. It's Dr. Stevens. Let's move on to number 2. Now, I'm pleased to say that Byron and I had these ordered the way we did, but I could accept if somebody had these interchanged. But number 2, Wallace Langham as Dr. Seeker in Dinosaur.
Hello there. Welcome to our little trans-dimensional joyride, folks. I'm Dr. Seeker, your friendly controller, and a heck of a paleontologist, if I do say so myself. But let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you, and how you can help me make history today with the Time Rover.
Here's the thing. I think from an acting perspective, he should be number 1. maybe. Because it's a mix of what Chris Pratt is doing, and it's a mix of what the number one person is doing. Here's why I could accept him being number one. I'll make the case for him being number one right now, even though he's number two. Gives great safety spiel while playing the stakes of the story. He's giving you the spiel of what's going on with the car and the rover, but then he's also letting you in on his little up to no good scheme that he's going to use you basically to rob time, essentially. And he's got his little dynamic with his boss, and you're in on that now, and excellent voice acting performance throughout the ride as he's realizing what he's done.
Not our dino.
I don't care. Get them out of it.
Not gonna make it.
They're not gonna make it.
And it's funny because where Chris Pratt's safety spiel is more of like the sarcastic, like worried for you type. Dr. Seekers is more kind of like the throwaway.
He's like, I just got to get through this so I could get on to what I really want to talk about.
Seatbelts. Use them.
Yeah, use them.
We were just talking about seatbelts. Plug them in. Use them. It can get kind of choppy out there, so keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times. Flash photography? I wouldn't. It alters the homing signal, and that's not good. Oh, and one more thing. Those launch coordinates? We're in.
The only reason why I don't have it number one is because I can honestly say I don't quote this. But I quote number one all the time.
Mm-hmm. And this is another pre-show where there's a good co-star in it.
Yes, that's right.
Which just makes it difficult to...
It was tough.
Arrived, it seems, just in time to correct a little misstatement.
Dr. Marsh.
Very impossibly close to the giant asteroid impact that destroyed most life forms on Earth. Our tools are designed to take you to the early Cretaceous period. And I can assure you that all time rovers have been securely locked on those coordinates.
That's right. See? Securely locked. Access denied.
Access denied. Continue.
You know, if we were ranking by ensembles, Rise of the Resistance would be in my list.
Yeah, that's
because
fair.
there's great performances in Rise.
That's true. Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is an individual award right now, and let's move to number one and take a bow because we all know who it is.
Yeah.
Say it along with me, everybody, in your car or at home. Patrick Warburton in Soarin'.
Hello, and welcome to Soarin' over California. My name is Patrick, and I'll be your chief flight attendant today.
Yeah. As chief flight attendant.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
I mean, I don't think there's anyone that can hold a frame as well on an attraction.
No, this guy has gravitas to everything he says.
Yep. From the iconic voice to just his like physical presence on the screen.
His presence is so magnetic on screen, you, as I mentioned in the Soarin' episode, don't even realize he is blatantly holding the script in his hands, which you can see, and pretending it's a checklist. But you buy it because he's so good. I mean, talk about doing a lot with a little. This is just a pretty much like on the page. This is like a run-of-the-mill, for the most part, safety kind of video. There are some great one-liners, but I think delivered by another actor, this is dime a dozen.
This is special.
I mean, there's so many you could think. Nice work, pal. These little beauties.
Smaller aviators.
Height indicator on the right.
If smaller aviators don't measure up to the height indicator on the seat, let's put the belt through the loop in the center strap before buckling. Nice work, pal. Soon you will be airborne.
Most satisfying delivery of the word buckle.
Yeah. Or his little like, all right, has glasses going on. Oh,
and
yeah.
just the most
have a nice flight.
And the most sincere delivery of have a nice flight.
Have a nice
as
flight.
As he does his little walk off.
Yeah. Also, like it's the only time I've ever heard somebody say maybe you don't want to get on the ride because it's too scary, and it feels genuine. It doesn't feel like, oh, you're too scared. It's like, yeah, may want to wait for your party at the arrival gate. But also his delivery when it's just the voice performance of soaring to tower. Clear to take off.
He is the spirit of the ride.
It's iconic. It's memed. It's quoted. They brought him back to reprise the role, which is something you can't say for anybody on this list.
Thank you for joining us on this very special flight today. It is our pleasure to introduce to you your chief flight attendant.
Hello. And welcome. Welcome to Soarin'. As I just mentioned, my name is Patrick. I will be your chief flight attendant today. Nice work, pal. You know where to stow those little beauties?
So right now we're watching a video of him literally visiting guests getting on Soarin', dressed as the chief flight attendant, doing the whole the whole shtick again.
Yeah. Patrick
And
live.
I would lose my mind. If we went just in a random... I'm imagining these people signed up for this and knew it was coming, but if I didn't know that was coming and the pre-show ding happened, because right before it goes, it goes ding, and then he comes on screen. If the screen just went black and he walked out of the door, I'd scream. I think I'd scream. I'd holler like a cartoon wolf. Once again, if you want to talk strictly acting, I think you're looking at Chris Pratt, you're looking at Arnold, you're looking at Wallace Langham, but just pure swag and just memorability, it's hard. It's really hard.
Performance
to top
of a
this.
lifetime.
It really is so good. It's honestly... Here's another thing. He has credits to his name. He's been on a bunch of shows and movies. He's Kronk. He's on Seinfeld,
Family Guy, I think.
Family Guy. I think this is my favorite performance of his. It's the one I remember the most.
Yeah.
So,
well, because usually he's a voice actor.
He's a voice actor.
I mean, he's done some on-camera sitcom stuff, but
anyways, shout out to Patrick. Number 1, congratulations.
Amazing.
Your chief flight attendant and your chief performer here on the top 10 performances by an actor in a ride. But let's move on to some honorable mentions. Now, these are performances that did not make the aggregate list, but ones that we'd like to shout out right now. Now, I've already shouted out Linda Hamilton and Edward Furlong, who are incredible in Terminator 2 3D. Particularly, Linda Hamilton is so intense in Terminator 2 3D, so got to shout out her. But my main honorable mention, this did not make the list. It was tied at 10 with... who is number 10 on the aggregate list? It's tied with Allison Blanchard, and Byron and I picked, and I conceded to Byron here. Now I kind of regret it, but I had
Stevie?
Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto in Fast and the Furious Supercharged. Here's the thing. I hate this ride, but we cannot deny the brilliance of some of the line deliveries of Vin Diesel in this ride.
Ride or die.
Not gonna happen.
I almost had this as a dishonorable.
Oh, it's so good. Him hanging off the helicopter. Don't worry, I got this.
Do you think this falls into a so bad it's good?
Well, here's the thing. Fast and the Furious movies are ridiculous. He's ridiculous in them, and he's no more ridiculous in this show or this ride than he is in the films. Therefore, I think it's quite dialed in. It's in world.
Okay.
It's a bad ride, but I mean, he is memorable in it. Also, The Rock is pretty funny in this ride too, to be honest. Yeah, but he walks in with the gun, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours.
Dude.
And then when Vin Diesel comes up on the little car lift, when he says something like, I bet you get out of here because we can't guarantee your safety. That whole kind of thing.
Yeah. Or that's what, Tyrese?
Maybe the most iconic line from him, though, is driver move that vehicle.
That's good, yeah. Tyrese might be the dishonorable now for me.
I think he's pretty good. Look, I think they're given a tough job because they're in a bad show / ride.
Some pretty wooden shit. I don't know what to say.
I love Michelle Rodriguez, by the way. But I think her in this is...
She's the best one in this.
No, she's not, dude. She's the worst one in this.
I think they're all pretty bad.
And I love her.
I think Tyrese is the worst in this.
Look, I get it. It's like they got the script the day of. They didn't have time. That's why actor performances in rides are so bad usually. It's because they didn't have time to prep or they didn't want to prep. I'll usually give the benefit of the doubt and just be like, they probably got the script the day of. They probably shot this in between shoot days or when they're all together shooting the movie. Like I know for Guardians, Mission Breakout, they shot that stuff in between when they were already shooting Guardians, when they had them all around. And so that's something okay, here's the script. Maybe I read it off a prompter or something. So that's why the Chris Pratt Velocicoaster performance stands out to me so much, because it's clear he prepared and it's good. But yeah, I feel bad for these actors in the Supercharged. But yeah, I can't deny that the Vin Diesel line deliveries will always live in my brain forever because they're so funny.
I guess they are quotable.
They are very quotable.
Good performance? I don't know. But You know what? He doesn't. At least he doesn't look bored.
He does not look bored. He never is
He's
bored.
stoked to be there. That's for sure.
I respect it.
Yeah.
All
right.
That's my honorable mention. I could sneak some other ones in there, but I think you might say some of them yourself. If not, I'll say them later. So what do you got?
All right, honorable. I'll throw in Steven Spielberg.
I had Steven Spielberg at number 10 on my personal list.
I think I had him, 9 or 10?
I
might have had him 10 as well.
You had him at 9, which is why he was too low on both of our lists to make it. He
Yeah.
plays himself, E.T. Adventure. Really funny stuff there.
He's playing himself. He's kind of presenting. There's a little bit of story at play at the same time.
Yeah.
It's definitely a better performance than what you'd expect from a Steven Spielberg.
That's right, E.T.
Yeah.
Steven.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not really breaking barriers here, but it's
No.
like, it's fucking Steven Spielberg, and he does a formidable job.
You know, I have a soft spot for directors delivering stuff to camera, talking about the movie, talking about the behind the scenes process. You see this at Universal Studios. You saw it with like Ron Howard and Backdraft and stuff like that. And I just think this is the best version of that. And he's also my favorite director of all time. So look, this was I put it at the list at 10 and I realized maybe it shouldn't be on there. That's why I put it on 10.
Oh, that reminds me of someone I totally forgot. Two people I totally forgot.
Who?
Twister.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that log slap on its own should get a
for Bill Paxton when he's slapping the log and when he's in the broken down house.
Because considering him and Helen Hunt like didn't even want to be in the same room or film together.
Call it the 5 fingers of God.
I forgot about that one.
And yeah, they didn't want to be in the same room. If you've watched our Twister Write It Out episode, you'll know that Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton hated each other's guts, so they refused to be share the same frame. So they had to shoot them separate and have 2 TV screens talking to each other, which is really funny. And when you stitch it together, that makes those performances even funnier. Good honorable mention for those two. While we're throwing it in, because there are so many performances that I did want to talk about, and we're just going to go crazy in honorable mentions here. We already talked about Steven Tyler. Great. That covers, I think. Oh no, wait. Let's see. Did I forget anybody from my own list? No, everybody on my list made it in. But my number 11 on my list, number 11, 12, 13, and 14 are all Rise of the Resistance.
Ooh.
11, I have Domhnall Gleeson as Admiral Hux, because he's just hilarious in this and he's so intense.
That's fair.
Good when that one First Order officer says like prepare to be boarded or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like describe your business. And then he like pushes her out of the way and he's like,
oh, that's right.
And he's like, you're whatever, rebel scum, resistance scum. And then also his little walk and delivery in the interrogation room is so funny too.
You need it on the bridge.
I take care of this personally.
They have neither the courage or the. Oh wait, that's animatronic though. That one doesn't. That part doesn't count. But
yeah, it's. I mean, it's his voice though, and he started earlier in it.
Oh,
so.
that's what it is. By the authority of the First Order, resistance scum.
Yeah, it's so good. That's I have him at 11, and then I had Oscar Isaac 12.
That's good.
Fine looking group of recruits.
Yep.
I had John Boyega at 13.
Do you get? Oh yeah, you do get.
He's like
you
the
get
main guy on the ride.
And when you board, yep.
Yeah.
And then he pops up again before you escape on the pods or meet.
Yeah,
Kylo
before you see
Ren.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, there's.
He's the one, basically the voice the entire time. Like I told you to go down, not up, not up. Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then 14, I actually couldn't find this actress's name, so if anybody knows the name, but the First Order officer in.
Oh, the first one before that gets thrown off the screen.
Before she gets thrown off the screen by Hux.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think this is a rough beat for Daisy Ridley, to be honest. Like,
okay, so I'm conflicted because I think the pre-show is really good.
It's incredible.
And I do think her presence alone is like a really big moment.
Yes.
And there are parts of it that I think play really well. But it's clear that she had directions that she could not move.
I know.
And she kind of just has to stand there like a stencil and like...
She looks like she's trapped in a mailroom tube. One of those pneumatic tubes that's in a mailroom.
And so like when it hits the point where it's like the resistance desperately needs her and she does that eye. She can't really do much with her body and she just kind of...
It's just never been more clear that, and look, no disrespect. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they got her while she was like in the middle of shooting Star Wars. It's like, hey, can you come do this really quick? It's for a ride that's going to be pretty cool. And she was like, huh? All right. It's pretty clear she's reading off a prompter. It's more clear than any performance I think I've ever seen in a ride. But it's still, like a passable perform. But you could tell.
I think it's like an incredible pre-show. There are parts I think that really work. I think as everyone assembled, good. Like that. I think that's a good moment.
Oscar Isaac actually probably asked to do the most in terms of being on camera recorded in this ride. Like, because he has all like the exposition, like danger lines. True. Like, I'll come back for you. I'll make this a fair fight. You know, that whole like thing.
Yeah, because he's like kind of chopped up in pieces and scattered throughout the experience.
Yeah.
Ridley is just all there at once.
At once.
Kind of like a oneer.
Yeah.
And it shows. At times, I don't think it's a bad performance.
I think they did her
though.
dirty, to be honest, if I'm being real honest. I think they did her a little dirty.
Potentially.
But anyways, that's the honorable mentions, unless you have any others, Byron.
I think that's pretty good.
Oh, you're so cute. I could watch him all day.
Let's move on to some dishonorable mentions. This is the performance that we liked the least. And ironically, the person who I think actually gives maybe the best performance as an actor in a ride also gives maybe one of my least favorite performances as an actor in a ride. I have Chris Pratt in Jurassic World here.
Okay.
You want to talk about some wooden deliveries and clearly just being told what to say off camera. That's Chris Pratt in Jurassic World.
The slightest movement can set these animals off.
Also, they do that thing where it glitches on the screen because like that's to cover cuts.
Yeah, you think so?
Oh, yeah. Come on now. It's just, I don't buy it. I don't blame him. He's probably, once again, put in like a strange position, especially because he's so good in the Velocicoaster one. So, like,
I wonder if he rode Jurassic World and he's like, I'm going to prep for the next one. I know I got that Velocicoaster shoot coming up next week. Yeah, I'm going to do my homework.
Well, first off, having to watch anything that I do is torture. But like, if I had to get on a ride and I wasn't happy with my work and I had to watch it over and over again, that would make me be like, next one I'm going hard in the paint. Because more people, you can make an argument, more people see that performance than maybe some of the movie.
Some of them, yeah. I mean, those movies made a lot.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of people saw those movies. That's a good point.
I'll say, yeah, both Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard are exponentially better in the Velocicoaster.
Yeah, it's funny. It's almost like
Jurassic World.
I wonder what happened. Why there's such a difference.
I wonder how much of that is direction, how much like time they had.
I'm sure they had
flexibility on the shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff we'll probably never know unless we could get Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard on the show.
That'd be, yeah, God willing. Do you have any dishonorable mentions?
I do.
What do you got?
I'm gonna go. Can I go ensemble for this one?
Oh, you're gonna go a whole? Yeah, go for it. Why not?
Okay, this is gonna be for more somewhat nuanced, unfortunate reasons, but I'm gonna go with Tyra Banks and Jeffrey Jones from Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter.
Oh, man. They're not that bad in that.
Tyra Banks, they used another voice actor to dub over her.
You're right. I forgot about that.
So it's that dishonorable in the sense that it's not even Tyra Banks' voice.
That's fair. That's fair.
Jeffrey Jones, on the other hand, who plays basically the head of XS Tech, the chairman, terrific performance. But I can't put him. I can't put him on the list because he's like part of why that ride got removed.
That's true.
It's a fantastic character, but man, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, he had some off-camera stuff that got resulted in that being yanked real quick.
Yeah, so that's my dishonorable.
By the way, one more honorable that I forgot to throw in there because it just occurred to me to right now. Jamie Lee Curtis in Alan's Energy Adventure.
Oh shit!
As smart.
Oh my god! Stupid Judy.
Stupid Judy. Yeah.
I can't believe we went through all this without even mentioning Ellen either.
I think. Here's the thing. I actually think the Ellen performance is good. It's just I don't particularly enjoy Ellen that much.
It stays in the same pocket. Same with Bill Nye. Like,
sure.
Bill Nye growing up and everything.
Yeah,
but once again, I guess it stays in that same pocket where I guess I didn't.
It doesn't move me.
That's fair.
But I do like Stupid Judy.
Stupid Judy. Because it's Jamie Lee being a little smart aleck.
Yeah, I know. I just love Jamie Lee Curtis. I guess that does it for the app. I feel good about that one. I think that's a good list.
We've had shittier lists, I think.
Well, that does it for this episode of For Your Amusement. If you're watching, make sure to like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, or if you're listening, please rate the podcast 5 stars and subscribe as well. And consider supporting us by joining our Fourth Wall, which is another version of Patreon, by heading over to fyapod.com. You'll get up to 3 monthly bonus shows, in addition to the free show you just watched / listened to, and you'll find our merch there as well. And speaking of Fourth Wall, here are 10 names of e-ticketers over on Fourth Wall that we'd like to thank. Some FYA holes. Redwood Fox, LA. This name is so funny. Glizzy Gobbler. Touche. Raven and Dachel. That's good. That's David and Rachel. They comment a lot on Fourth Wall. Colum 136. Kelsey GOV. Riley Wanker. Swan Boat. Amble Chew. Disney Delight. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you. And by the way, if there's any favorite performances that we missed,
that's right,
or even some dishonorables, feel free to chime off in the comments.
Let us know.
Let us know what we missed, or let us know what we should go experience. Maybe there's some obscure amusement parks that we haven't been to that have some revolutionary performance that we have not seen.
I was really thinking about that. Of all the regional parks that we've been to, I think I could have maybe snuck in an Alton Towers in there for the Nemesis walkthrough, but it's not enough, I thought. But no, yeah, if there are some regional ones in particular, I'd love to see them. But anyways, follow the pod socials at FYA Pod everywhere. I'm at Ryan Bergara everywhere. Byron's at Byron A. Marin. But that's it. Thank you for spending your time with us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next ride. Bye-bye.